yeah. Cold chillin', winning some losses. You never took an L, then you'll never be a boss. Plan B. And hell yeah, I've been going for it all day. They conceive of the bad play. Only give it up for a seed on my death day. I'm trying to move dreams out, trying to see the dream house. Why they all gassed up, we be in the greenhouse. Cold chillin', winning some losses. You never took an L, then you'll never be a boss. No plan B, we got a plan A. And hell yeah, I've been going for it all day. Hell yeah, I've been going for it all day. Hell yeah, I've been going for it all day. No plan B, we got a plan A. Hell yeah, I've been going for it all day. Hell yeah, I've been going for it all day. Hell yeah, I've been going for it all day. Foolproof mirrors, light so bright. That money look good and that song sound nice. And I don't see a reason over feeding for a fight. So I'm playing these cards, hope I'm playing them right. Right, yeah, but no pride with it. I just vibe with it. Step out thankful, hell yeah, I got a job in it. Like Black Rob, we owe just like whoa. With a hand to the sky for shit we don't know. Cause we take our dreams, put them in 3D. Take them out that box, put them in that street. Let them do that work, let them all just breathe. Hell yeah, I be on it cause them two-tones cheat. It's grayscales to the flat line. Till I start to like golf and rock derbies while I'm chilling on the back nine. Rocking the Jesus piece that's ironic. Reading Richard Dawkins and Tangerine tonic like a boss mic. I set it off right. That two-tone rebel never takes an off night. Paying dues for a minute, get the cost right. Keep my shit cold, I ain't in it for the frostbite. I'm in it for the green grass, in it for the good times, in it for the plot twists, in it for the storylines. Yeah, cold chillin'.
car, see you on TV. Sunset shit done changed. Ever since we was on, I dreamed it all. Ever since I was young, they said I wouldn't be nothing. Now they always say congratulations. Worked so hard, forgot how to vacation. They ain't never had the dedication. People hating, say we changing, look, we made it. Yeah, we made it. That was never friendly, yeah. Now I'm jumping out of Bentley, yeah. And I know I sound dramatic, yeah. But I know I had to have it, yeah. For the money, I'm a savage, yeah. I be itching like I had it, yeah. I'm surrounded 20 bad bitches, yeah. But they didn't know me last year, yeah. Everyone wanna act like they important, but all that mean nothing when I saw my door, yeah. cold when the flame hit. Don't you know when the flame hit? So clean and the motherfuckers just talking. I show up at the spot and now everyone they are watching. No one to prove you wrong, but shit, you leave me with no option. Yeah, yeah. Everybody asking folks when is the album dropping? Ever since the very first day that I've been popping.
Oh my gosh, welcome back to Netherworld Pop Culture Trivia Isolation Style. This is where it's the Wild West of trivias, really. You mark your own sheets and the answers are Googleable, but we really don't encourage that at all. Let me know who's playing in the chat. I can see a bunch of regulars are already here. Post up your team names so we know who's here with us in this beautiful virtual space. We're going to be fiddling with a little bit of mic echo there. You know, it's trial and error with these sorts of things. Thank Your Bus Driver is in the house. I've got Vin Diesel's Electric Mayhem. I have Lemon Stealing Whores. I've got Team Fellowship of the Quiz. Have I got Culture Vultures? Team Pringles, very nice. Welcome Team Pringles. We've got Totally Fuckable Aliens. Chemtrail Blazers are here. Good job. Keep posting them. I like to know who's here. I can't believe we're at week 3 of Netherworld Twitch Trivia. I would say that time flies in isolation, but I don't know if that's true. But gosh darn, it's nice to be back with you all. If you do want proper answer sheets, you can have them. They are in the panels below the video. You probably need quick access to a printer to make it work for you now. But other than that, your team scribes get a scrap of paper, open a Word doc. You can record your answers however you like. Without further ado, let's kick into our rules. No Googling. We don't want any Googling here. That one's obvious. Of course, you'll do what you will. But I like to think that Netherworld attracts a good crowd. It's a good sort. And I'm sure we'll all be very honest. Phonetically, it still counts. An old, tried and tested rule, which I do love. It basically means you don't have to spell particularly well, which is helpful for pop culture trivia because there's often kind of interesting character names and strange movie titles, and they've got silent letters and they add X's all over the place. Our third rule, no answers in the chat. That one's an important one, and some people might be coming in late and not know the rules, and that's okay, so we'll give them a pass. But if you see any answers in the chat, you let them know that it's just not how we do it. Not so much a rule as it is an instruction. How it's going to work as it has the last few weeks. You mark your own sheets, as I said. This is the Wild West of trivia. And you upload your final scores at the end. So we have 2 rounds of 20 questions. And even though I will want to know what your first round score is in the chat, don't upload your final score until the end of round 2. And you can do it at that link, the manvsbeartrivia.com/stream. And if you don't like the idea of copying down that link, there is a link to it in the panels below this video. So you'll find that for the final scores. And of course, as we've been doing the last couple of weeks as well, our comic entry, which is a beloved part of Netherworld Trivia every week, does still happen in Twitch form. However, you're going to virtually submit your comics to me via Instagram. You'll have until the end of the night to finish your comic, and I'll get into that later in terms of what theme we're having this week. Just copy down my Instagram handle. If you message me on Insta or just tag me in your story, I'll be able to judge your comic entry. And the comics are particularly spicy these days because it is the only thing that we give a substantial prize for in this crazy land of Netherworld Twitch trivia. Okay, speaking of comics though, here is our winning comic for last week. obviously you don't get to see them anymore when they're handed in, so I'm going to post up the winners the following week now. This one came in from George. They did an amazing job, as you can see. I've actually also included some runners-up for us. These two gorgeous comics. We had a ScoMo Pokemon, and we had this incredible Time to Isolate Your Soul comic. This was the one that tied for first place, but turned out to be Ben, as in owner Ben's sister, so we felt it was somewhat immoral giving her the Netherworld voucher as the prize. A couple more runners-up. A beautiful No Money, No House Animal Crossing from... I believe that was a Hacklocked original, and I included this other one which came in from my nephew Morris, who was playing before he went to bed, and that was his take on social distancing, which is gosh darn beautiful. We'll get into what the theme will be later on, but for now I want to thank Sam and Nick, who are my first entries to the notice board, a la old school, which is when you just send me things that have happened in your life and I post them on the notice board. Sam and Nick of Vin Diesel's Electric Mayhem adopted a kitten today. So Nacho joins the Netherworld family. This is the kind of nice, endearing shit I like to see on our notice board. So if anyone's, getting married, eloping at the registry office, or has an animal that they want me to put up on the notice board, let me know. Oh, I'm loving the love for Nacho in the chat. All right, let's kick into it. Round one, question one. Make sure your scribes are ready. Remember, in case you missed it, and I'm sure you didn't, this is all pop culture trivia. It gets niche, it gets weird in here, and I'll thank you in advance for all your very creative theme requests last week. Okay, here we go. Question one. Which character in Mean Girls said the famous line, "On Wednesdays we wear pink"? Was it A, Gretchen, B, Karen, C, Katie, or D, Damien? Multiple choice. Nothing wrong with starting with a multiple choice. Get those brain juices flowing. Do an old adjust to our music, so as we do that, you know what to do. Let me know in the chat if it's too loud or too quiet, all of that. Let's keep our communication channels open, not unlike a healthily married couple. Question two, it's our questionable cosplay question, a question we have every week. Which character is this cosplay trying to recreate? Now, as always, I will give you 1 point for the character's name, or a half point if you know what universe the character comes from. Scott, welcome from Canada. I can see that the music is too loud for you. How's that sounding now? Is it more ideal? All Culture Vultures have got it. Grognack87 has got it. Looks like Scott's ears have been sorted out. All right, nice one. I'm going to move us on. Question three. Thank you to the person who requested more Animorphs after we had a question 2 weeks ago. What animal is this Animorph about to turn into? Is it A, a trout, B, a great white shark, C, a hammerhead shark, or D, a wobbegong shark? That's alright if you haven't got a team name. You've got oodles of time to work one out before you submit your final score. You can sneak on all the other team names and try and one-up them. Actually, I lie. Not just one team, I should say, requested Animorphs. 5 teams requested more Animorphs, so I hope we are satisfied. with our Animorphing question. It's a 1 in 4. I'm not going to give you a hint for this one. All right, question 4. Hollywood headlines. Feature I do enjoy. Which of the below is not a real entertainment news headline from the last week? Is it number 1, Lady Gaga wears glasses to discuss coronavirus special, so you know she means business? Is it number 2, Ryan Reynolds Zoom bombing Hugh Jackman is the best thing you'll see all day? Or is it 3, Jennifer Lopez and Alex Rodriguez's wedding delayed by coronavirus? One of those is fake, 2 of them are very real. I want you to tell me the one that is not real. Welcome Pen 15 checking in from Adelaide. Isn't Pen 15 just the best show? Not necessarily because it was my first preference, but I am drinking a refreshingly gluten-free Two Bays Brewing Co. beer, which is delicious. As is our tradition, let me know if you've cracked something. What are you drinking? What's your home life like in this moment? Is anyone drinking a Negroni? Someone had that going last week. Goon. Nice one. That's all we can all afford now. Question 5. I'm going to mute our copyright-free Twitch music and play a little video. I'm really curious to see how we go with this one. This is off the back of a request for a Pokemon question. Actually, a few people requested Pokemon. Let's have a listen to this video, a look at this video. Let me know if it's too quiet. I'll do my best to turn it up.
Identify this Pokemon.
This is gonna be a breeze for me. It's a Voltorb.
Ah, how simple. It's a Pokeball without a doubt.
Obviously, it's an Electrode.
And the answer is A.
Okay, what is the actual answer for question 5? I'll play that video one more time, but I want to know the actual answer.
Identify this Pokemon.
This is gonna be a breeze for me. It's a Voltorb.
Ah, how simple. It's a Pokeball without a doubt.
Obviously, it's an Electrode.
And the answer is A.
Okay, looks like Vin Diesel's Electric Mayhem have got question 5. Is anyone else feeling good? This one's kind of a niche version of asking who's that Pokemon. I think this is one of the first questions that I want to say specificity is key, and I'll give you more of a point if you tell me more specifically what the answer is. I won't really go into what I mean by that because I'll give it away. Easy peasy, Camille and TV. Very nice. All right, question 6. Identify the 21st century albums from their album cover art. 4 points. This is a 4-pointer, baby. You do need the musician or band and the album name, though, for the full point for each. So dwell on this one. I was neglecting music a little bit last week, so I thought I should rectify it.
Hardest damn jewelry I
It's a trick question. No, it's not a trick question. It's a pretty straight up question. I'm sorry, this is why I avoid these music questions, because it makes everyone else feel old. But these actually, all of these albums, they aren't necessarily new releases, I'll say that. It's a healthy span over the last 10 years. Maybe even more than 10 years. Who's got two, at least two? Give me some love on the chat. Do I need to give hints? Soy Boys got it. Very nice. All right, Fellowship of the Quiz has got 2. Super Nintendo Charmers want no hints because I'm not surprised. They always nail the music questions. I will say that none of these artists are particularly obscure. I would put my very modest bank balance on the line to say that everyone in the chat has heard of all of these musicians or bands. All right, I'm gonna move us on, I think. Question 7. Question 7's a new style of question, which I hope you forgive me for. It's what I like to call Subjective 7, where I ask a subjective question, but there's actually only one right answer you can get a point for. So our question's Subjective 7 for this week. Which Jeff Goldblum is hotter, Jurassic Park or Independence Day? And yes, there is a right answer. At least there's a right answer that I want for the point. I'm glad the Guinness guy on chat sees it the way I do. I don't think it's subjective either. I think it's pretty certain. But, you know, we've all got other tastes. This so happens to be my taste. And I'm going to throw us a subjective question every week and see how we go. Just because, as I keep saying, if we're living in the Wild West, why don't we just push the boundaries until we're back in the venue? Oh, everyone's saying it's easy. We'll just see about that. We will see about that. All right. Choose a Goldblum. Moving on to question 8. Dewey Finn is the protagonist of which 2003 film? Now, we're up to question 8, so we're almost halfway through round 1. I think it's time to have a chat about our comic theme for the week. I was thinking Easter, but within the context of COVID quarantine. Always happy to hear your thoughts, as per usual. For the people who are new and haven't played before, our comic competition is basically exactly what it sounds like. I will give you a theme and you have to draw a comic which incorporates that theme and also incorporates a monster element, because monsters are who we bow down to at the Netherworld. The other thing you need to include is a caption as well as a picture. So, and again, it doesn't have to be a long panel of pictures. As you saw on the notice board, it can just be one thing. Okay, this is a very good suggestion from Bridamon. Daylight savings happened and we're all turning into idiots. We're all in the same time now, which is nice when you're doing online streaming. So daylight savings is an option. Obviously it's the Easter weekend is another option. I think I'm inclined to go with Easter, but if you have an idea, you tell me now. Today is Rex Manning Day and the 25th anniversary of a Goofy movie. Just saying. Oh, thank you, Grace from Vinny D. Your suggestions are always the most specific and beautiful. I'm going to move on to question 9. Question 9. Forgot about this one momentarily. This one's worth 3 points. I want you to identify which of the below quotes are from Joe Exotic, aka the Tiger King, and which are from the 2012 dramatic film Life of Pi. So they could all be from one, or they could be divided. Our quote number 1, animals have souls, I have seen it in their eyes. Is that a Joe Exotic Tiger King quote, or is it from Life of Pi? Number 2, dying doesn't scare me at all. And number 3, I saw a tiger and the tiger saw a man. This one's a 3-pointer, but you do need to write down 1, 2, 3 on your sheets and put the right thing beside each number to get the points. I know, it seems crazy that I would ask that. Because the thing is, both are, strangely, profoundly existential. They actually go hand in hand. But also, I haven't seen the last episode of Tiger King, so no spoilers in the chat. Animals have souls. I have seen it in their eyes. Dying doesn't scare me at all. And I saw a tiger, and the tiger saw a man. Okay, so whilst we're on this question, I think I'm going to lock in Easter as the comic theme for this week. If you really aren't feeling that shit, then you don't have to draw it. I'm not going to hold a gun to your head. That's kind of my broad theme I'm giving you. If you decide to go rogue and do something else in the news, I don't care. You do whatever makes you feel good inside. I do want monsters though. I want monsters in the comic, and I want a caption for it to be a valid entry. Start noodling. You have until the end of the night to submit it. You're submitting it over Instagram, and I'll post up the handle again later. But just get your little creative juices flowing, because I want to reiterate, there's a $30 venue voucher to be spent in the venue when the venue reopens, available for the best comic. And the best comic, if you're wondering who it's judged by, it's judged by me, and it's judged by Ben, who is lurking over there on his laptop. Good Ben, one of the owners of this fine establishment. So for those who missed the theme on the chat, the theme is going to be the fact that it's Easter. Thank you, Ben. It's Easter this week, and I'm happy for you to do Easter generally, or Easter within the context of socially isolating, or rather physically distancing, and COVID. Or, as I said, because I can't really control what you do, and I'm not going to mark you down for it. If you want to do something entirely different that has happened in the news this week, for instance, the Goofy movie anniversary that Grace suggested in the chat, then you go to bloody town. I'm going to move us on to question 10. Did these characters feature on the Disney Channel or Nickelodeon? So I want you to write either Disney or Nickelodeon next to each letter. Again, they could all be Disney, or they could all be Nickelodeon, or they could be a mix. For those that missed the comic topic, it is the fact that it's the Easter week, but obviously I would imagine that would be in the context of the pandemic, but it doesn't have to be. The theme is broadly Easter, and you get creative with it. I made the slight concession that if you are deeply uninspired by that theme, or are morally against the concept in general, you can choose another news story from the week, and I won't mark you down. And yes, a few people have mentioned on chat that today is also Rex Manning Day. That would fit under the category of do whatever you want, and I won't really care. But, you know, I like to do themes when there's a holiday. Like Christmas time at Netherworld Trivia. That's a very fun time with comics, as is Halloween, as is Valentine's Day, as is literally we will come up with an excuse to draw a picture about anything. Who's feeling good about Disney v Nickelodeon? Can we move on? Actually, I forgot, but there's actually something quite exciting coming up. And you'll all need your phones for question 11, because it's not question 11. We're actually stepping out of the game for a moment for a very special one-off mid-round Bigfoot question. Now, we'll need our phones, because this is going to be a prize for one person. It's the person who messages this to me the fastest. And don't worry, even if you don't follow me, I do go into the message requests and I'll see who's done it the fastest. A little bit of background about this special question that's completely one-off and special to this evening. This has actually come from George, who won the comic competition last week. So George, unbeknownst to us when they submitted their fabulous comic, we just chose it because we loved it. And then we realized it was George, who is kind of related to the venue. And so George has donated onwards the $30 venue voucher to redistribute this week, and their one request was that it had to be a Bigfoot question. So here we go. The first person to message me on Instagram the answer to this will win a $30 venue voucher, which Ben will email to you. Here we go. Which actor can be seen here in Bigfoot/Sasquatch costume? Send it to me on Insta. Ooh, I've got a bunch already in. Okay, I have an answer. I have the correct answer that has been emailed in, has been messaged in first. So you can keep messaging, but it's done. In answers, I will reveal who it is. Big thank you to George, who donated their $30 venue voucher, and simply requested that the question had to be Bigfoot related. Help, I'm too old to find the message button on Instagram. I completely relate a Poco trout. It took me a long time to find too. You have to go to the home screen and press the little thing that looks like a paper aeroplane. Let's move on back into the quiz. Question 11. Whole Fist Mr. Savior is an anagram for which Bond film? Deep Lamb, have you missed question 10? We did do question 10. It was our Disney Nickelodeon question. But what I normally do for round 1 is I quickly scooch through all the answers, or the questions rather, at the end, because I know some people come in a bit late. Who's feeling confident about question 11? Are we ready to move on to question 12? Culture Vultures have got it. So has Soy Boy. Soy Boy, can you remind me what team you're playing for? Totally Fuckable Aliens have got it. I really need to remember to put a mature warning on this channel because a lot of the names are a little bit inappropriate, which I love, obviously. Moving on to question 12. Who's missing from this list? Monica, Erica, Rita, Sandra, Mary, Jessica, Angela, Pamela. Who is missing from the list on the screen? I'm not going to give you much context for it. I assume you can work it out. Tell me who's missing. Thank you, Soy Boy. You're on team IBS in the time of Rona. Great name. A Poco trout, you're coming dangerously close to giving people clues. I'm sure they know the context though. Tell me who's missing from the list. All right, I'm going to swing it on. Question 13. This is dedicated to the 2 teams that requested Harry Potter book questions last week. So here's my little spiel before I get into the question. We all know that Hermione wore the wrong colour to the Yule Ball in the 4th Harry Potter movie. Her dress was supposed to be periwinkle blue. Any self-respecting Harry Potter fan knows that. In the movie, Padme, who is pictured, wore orange and pink. That's Padme Patil. What colour was Padme's dress originally in the books? Was it A, lime green, B, turquoise, C, magenta, or D, purple? For the HP fans, for the HP book fans, I should say, who are out there? A, B, C, or D? Go with your gut. Or if you're the scribe, just write whatever you want, I suppose. Your team members can't ultimately stop you, especially not if they're not sitting in front of you. Who's feeling confident about question 13? No one said no hints yet, so maybe it's stumping some people. The Guinness guy has got it, very nice. Dr. Dre from Russell Crowe has got a guess. Feeling good. My favourite echidna. Anastasia from Culture Vultures says no hints. I think we're good. Let's move on to question 14. We had a few requests for more fantasy sci-fi book questions after last week. So this image is from the cover art of which young adult fantasy novel? It's a bit nostalgic, I know. Speaking of Harry Potter and Netherworld, when the venue reopens, is it time for another faux Harry Potter party, Ben? Answer in the chat if you're game. Nice, plenty of people are all over question 14. I am into this, a Lord of the Rings party. I could get around a Lord of the Rings party. I have an entire Aragorn costume and nowhere to wear it. Moving on to question 15. Ooh, okay, pausing our background music, turning this up. We're going to have to listen kind of carefully to question 15. You don't get much of these songs. I will play them a few times, but get your pens at the ready. I want you to identify the 4 artists, just the artists, I don't need the song titles, in this mashup from their Sunny songs.
Oh, sunshine.
Ooh, it's over quick. It's over quick. Get yourself a pen. I'm going to play it again. I want the 4 artists.
Oh, sunshine.
All right, how are we going with 15? I think I'll play it a few more times. Here it comes again.
Oh, sunshine.
Again, don't need the song titles, just the artists. I think we'll play this twice more unless somebody begs me. Ooh, very nice. Vin Diesel's Electric Mayhem think they have 4 out of 4. Chomp This has 2. All absolute jams. I couldn't agree more, Bowie Z. All right. Lala Luna has 1. That's pretty good. 3 out of 4s. Oh, you're doing pretty well. All right. Okay, maybe I'm just going to play it one more time because you're all doing so well. Here it comes for the last time.
Oh, sunshine.
D. Blem has achieved the impossible and got 6 out of 4 for that question. Okay, let's move on. Question 16.
Oh, sunshine.
Which actor or actress links all of these movies? We have Hook, 1991. We have Gosford Park, 2001. And we have Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit, personal favourite of mine. Which actor or actress links all of these movies? For those who are just joining us and may have missed it, the theme for our comic competition this week is the upcoming Easter weekend, Easter broadly. Again, we've got to include monsters. We have to include some kind of caption. I have these rules, but we all know I'm pretty flexible on them. I forgot to say before when I was telling you about our $30 venue voucher for the comics, of course, the winners of the comics, as well as our Nicolas Cage question, which I'll get to later, will also be winning the special pins, which normally you can only acquire if your team wins an in-house Netherworld trivia. Obviously, in this day and age where all answers are potentially Googleable, we're not actually giving prizes to the teams that win the trivia. So we are instead giving the pins to the comic winners and to the Nicolas Cage winners. The pin is gorgeous at the moment. It was designed by one of our very own regulars. It's Mike Wazowski pulling his brain open. All right, I'm going to move us on from question 17. A few of you seem to have got it. Question 17. Thank you to I think it was Kat who, ironically, it was Kat who requested this. But this is a screenshot from what app-based game? Now, there's an answer here that I will give a half mark for, but there's a more specific answer that I will give the full point to. And I should say, it's pretty bloody guessable. So if you've never seen it before, just have a think about what this looking game might be called, and I bet you'll swing and hit something. Not swing and hit something? Yes, that's right. You're hitting something. You're swinging. That analogy works. Bowie on the chat didn't know they were in Sister Act, but the other two make it easy. You have a joyful experience ahead this week, rewatching Back in the Habit just to find this person's cameo. Oh, okay, maybe I got it wrong about who requested this app game. Devastator 2K4 says, hitting it like Swing a Cat? No, the game is not called Swing a Cat. Does anyone know question 17, or have I completely missed the mark? I hope the one person who requested it is currently playing. Oh, Witchy Pixie know it. Very good. Most people aren't into it though. I will just, okay, new rules. You will get a point. You will get a point for this if you get it right. But I'm going to give you, your team, an opportunity to send over Instagram. Send to me what you think the game should be called, and I will give a point, a singular point, to the best name. So come up with a creative name for this app. Send it to me in a message on Instagram. In the break, I'll work out who my favorite is, and I'll give that team a point. It's a catty kind of app game. We've already got some great suggestions coming in. Ooh, Snapcat, that's good. Very good. Yeah, send me your app names, the silly ones. Of course, if you actually get this right, you can have the point. Let's move on. Question 18. More or less, does Beyonce have more or less studio albums than Taylor Swift? More or less. Wow, I'm shook. Only one person knew the cat game, but I'm getting excellent suggestions for a better name over Instagram. 18 is a 50-50. No, nothing to sweat about. Great question, Apoko Chat. Is this with or without Destiny's Child? This is without. I'm talking solo Beyonce in her current beautiful form. No Destiny's Child albums count. And just studio albums, so no live albums either. I really appreciate that correction. It should be fewer. And I love that that's a hill that you will die on, Eric. I'm going to move us on to question 19. When The Simpsons try to sell an authentic American Civil War doll to the collectible shop, what does it turn out to actually be? A, a cheap liquor bottle. B, a decorative toilet brush. C, a well-concealed bong. Or D, an inauthentic Gulf War doll. Wow, I'm getting some truly inspirational cat game names coming in. Oh, good. The people that requested Simpsons are in the house. Very nice. I'm going to move us on to our last question for round one. Which brand of shoe did Ripley famously wear in Aliens? That is your question 20, our last question for round one. Obviously, we still have our Nicolas Cage question to go. But for now, this is the last question for round one worth points. Shout out to @BurndaJuice, who is now starting his own Twitch account. It's a beautiful time. We're all learning new skills. I wouldn't have known anything about Twitch about a month ago, and here we all are in our cocoons growing new wings or something. It's goddamn beautiful. I'm loving the Crocs guess on the chat. How's everybody else feeling about it? Have we got some confidence out there? Because I'm going to move us on to our Nicolas Cage first clue. Yes, Vinny D has got it. We've got a guess. I will say it's guessable. It's not a super obscure brand. Again, I bet my fairly modest bank balance that most of you have heard of this brand. Yes, I'm in a cocoon. I'm going to become a terrifyingly wonderful moth at the end of this. Alright, let's move us on. Nicolas Cage, here we go. So, I know that there's going to be a couple of new people who are playing tonight. The Nicolas Cage, normally when we are hosting trivia in the flesh in person, is this little guy over here. And I hide something in the Nicolas Cage every week and then give you clues to try and work it out. And basically, the sooner you work out the answer, the more points you get for it. Because we have a slightly different kind of trivia online and we've only got 2 clues, how it's going to work is that if your team work out what I'm after and make a guess at the end of round 1 and it turns out to be correct, it's worth 5 points. And then if you get it right after the second clue at the end of round 2, it's worth 3 points. You won't find out the answer until the end of the night, but you can just make a note and add the 5 and 3 points to your total if you get it right. However, of course, those who have played the last 2 weeks know that the Nicolas Cage is also the other way that an individual can win a trivia pin. So we will need our phones and Instagram for this one, because I will also give a trivia pin to the person who just individually guesses it first. I always give you a particular topic. This week it's the filmmaker edition. Now I will stress that the Nicolas Cage question, even though it started relating to Nicolas Cage, doesn't necessarily have to relate to Nicolas Cage. I know that seems arbitrary, but it's a crazy, unpredictable world we're living in. So get your Instas ready. Send me a message with your guess if you are prepared to guess after this first clue. I'm after a filmmaker. I haven't specified to you whether it's a director, a producer, or a writer, a bit of everything. I'm after a filmmaker. The first person to message me will get a trivia pin. Of course, if your team just guesses it, at the end of round 1, you can have 5 points for it. Here are our first clues. Let's see if people are feeling good about this. Oh, we have some things coming in. Normally, I say you can only guess once, but I can't really regulate that, so it's going to be a free-for-all. Again, if you want to have a guess with your team, it's still worth 5 points, which could get you to the top of our score list, because even though the winning teams don't actually get prizes, you do get published in a cool ranking sheet so you can know how you went against your peers. I think Vin Diesel's Electric Mayhem won last week, so they will be out here defending their title. Oh, we have a ton of messages coming through, and a few of them have been bang on. I'll have to have a look at the end to see who got in first. In the meantime, we're going to go through answers for round 1. Ooh, Benjamin wants Con Air trivia. I can do that. We can do a special Con Air only trivia. My favorite's a niche trivia where you do one movie and you start like talking about the amount of words someone says in a scene. It's spellbinding stuff. All right, get your sheets ready. If you haven't guessed everything, guess them now, because I'm going to scooch through all the answers. Oh, thank you, Britt, on chat. Thank you for reminding me. I did promise that I would run through the answers because I know some people come in late on round 1, so I'm going to just smash through round 1 again very quickly. So eyes up. We had our Mean Girls question. It was our multiple choice. Gretchen, Karen, Katie, Damien. Again, I'm going through these just for the people who have come in late. I'm after the character who is portrayed by this cosplayer here for question 2. Question 3, it's our Animorph question. It's becoming a tradition, our fortnightly Animorphs question. Question 4, it's the Hollywood headline. I want the one that's not real. Question 5, oh, this was our Pokemon. Who's that Pokemon? I'm not going to play it again, sorry. I wanted to know what Pokemon that silhouette was. Question 6 were our albums. 50-50 on the response to this question. Had some musos out in the chat. Others not so into it. Our subjective 7, a subjective question where there is a right answer. You need to tell me which Jeff Goldblum is hotter, Jurassic Park or Independence Day. It's a no-brainer, really. Question 8, our Dewey Finn question. Number 9 was our Tiger King versus Life of Pi. I love that was the question that split your team, Witchy Pixie. Question 10 was the Disney or Nickelodeon channel Q. We had our special Bigfoot question. Question 11 was our Bond film anagram. 12 was who's missing from this list. Question 13, our Harry Potter book. Questioned for the mega fans. 14, our fantasy novel. 15 was our mashup of songs. The actor or actress who links these films, our Crazy Cat app, more or less, Simpsons, and Ripley Alien Shoes. All right, here we go. Our answers are coming, so eyes up, scribes. This is your time to shine. Mark, honestly, I'm sure you will. Question 1, it was Karen B. Karen. Question 2, it's Dr. Ivo Eggman Robotnik. I'm pretty fine if you said 1 to 2 of those words. You didn't need the full name for the point. If you guessed Sonic the Hedgehog but couldn't remember his name, you can have a half mark for Sonic. Question 3, it was a hammerhead shark, or C, a hammerhead shark. I just can't get enough. Question 4, Ryan Reynolds zoom bombing Hugh Jackman. That was false. I made that up. Number 2 was a fake headline. Question 5, I'm going to pause this music for a hot second because I will play you a clip for question 5. I'm excited to see who got this one.
Identify this Pokemon.
This is gonna be a breeze for me. It's a Voltorb.
Ah, how simple. It's a Pokeball without a doubt.
Obviously, it's an Electrode.
And the answer is a Jigglypuff seen from above.
It's a Jigglypuff seen from
Identify.
above. I think if you said a Jigglypuff, you can have a half mark. If you said a Jigglypuff seen from above, you give yourself a pat on the back. That's a good memory. Great scene. Great moment. Question 6. Okay, 4 points. 4 points here. A was Tame Impala Currents. B was Blonde Frank Ocean. C was Panic at the Disco Pretty Odd. And D was Arctic Monkeys Favorite Worst Nightmare. So just so you know how I'm breaking that up, it's a half point for the artist and a half point for the album names. 4 points in total. Also, I would argue that these are all pretty iconic albums, or at least famous albums. So don't be given no hate about music questions and being too old. Oh, Happiness is a Warm Gun. You own 3. Well, I hope you got 3. So Currents, Tame Impala, Blonde, Frank Ocean, Pretty Odd, Panic at the Disco. That's a nostalgic trip. And Favorite Worst Nightmare, Arctic Monkeys. Very well done if you got all 4. Question, Subjective 7, Independence Day! Of course it's Independence Day. I know so many of you will disagree, but for the point, I needed Independence Day. I really can't go past those glasses or that necklace. I rewatched Independence Day last night, and it was a stunning moment. Oh, I knew you would all be Jurassic Park Goldblum fans. How did I know it? Did anyone get it right? Just because he has his shirt buttoned down does not sexual attraction make. That's what I'll say about Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park. I knew everyone would disagree, but that's the beauty of Subjective 7. Question 8, it's School of Rock. Dewey Finn is, of course, Jack Black in School of Rock. Question 9, animals have souls, I have seen it in their eyes. That's a Life of Pi quote, so 1 point if you said Life of Pi for number 1. Dying doesn't scare me at all is a Tiger King quote, so Tiger King 2. And number 3 is also Tiger King. I saw a tiger and the tiger saw a man, which was him quoting his own song. I love that Netherworld doesn't endorse the Goldblum answer, but that's just the beauty of being the quiz master. I can do whatever I want. Question 9. I will say though, when you request your themes for next week, I'm open to you requesting subjective questions, and I might put them in for our Subjective 7. Question 10 for 3 points. A was Taina from Nickelodeon, B was Jessie from Disney, and C was obviously Drake and Josh from Nickelodeon. So Nickelodeon, Disney, then Nickelodeon. This is worth 3 points. Thank you so much to our stepdad, Vinny, who on Instagram just messaged me. You are 100% correct. Independence Day, Jeff Goldblum is hotter. Thank you, I feel seen. Question 10, again, it's worth 3 points. Okay, so listen up here because I am going to let you know who has won the $30 venue voucher. It is the person who got the answer to this question to me first. I will let you know what the answer was. The answer was, of course, Jack Black in the Tenacious D clip, the Champignons clip. Again, big ups to George who donated their voucher onto somebody else. The winning response that came in first was from Ben_Tails. I believe that is Ben from Super Nintendo Charmers. Well done, Ben. You were the first in with Jack Black. Very impressive. You are fast on the gram. So I'm making a note and we'll email you a voucher then. Good job. I have to say, heaps of people got it right and got in very quickly. Ben's just got lightning fingers, it would seem. Question 11, From Russia with Love. There's an amazing guy on Twitter who turns all the Bond films into anagrams. I would definitely recommend you check him out. David Reed, I believe his name is. It was From Russia with Love. Question 12, of course we're talking Lou Bega, and Tina was missing. Well done if you got Tina. Ooh, I love the Bowie Z chat recommendation that Dr. No becomes Nord. That's classy. 1 point for Tina if you got that for question 12. Question 13, to the HP fans, was B turquoise. Good job if you got turquoise. Question 14, it's Aragon. I don't know how old everyone is who is playing, but that was some high school nostalgia for me right there. Question 15, so I didn't need the song titles, just the artists. We had Bill Withers, we had Spiderbait, but not the Spiderbait you're thinking of, the Spider Bait who was on the 10 Things I Hate About You soundtrack. We had Natasha Bedingfield, and we had Len. So 1 point for Bill Withers, 1 point for Spider Bait, 1 point for Natasha Bedingfield, and a final point for Len. So 1 point each is correct. 4 points in total. 4 points in total for that one. And I didn't need the song names because, let's be honest, they've all got sunshine in them, and that would have been a bit easy. Great job if anyone got Spider Bait. That was probably our trickiest. It is, in fact, is it the same Spider Bait? I have to say, when I was researching that, I went down a really convoluted path trying to work out what Spider Bait made that song. Nice work, Tommy McCall from Fellowship of the Quiz, who got them all. Very impressive. Moving on, question 16. Maggie Smith, Dame Maggie Smith, was in Hook, Gosford Park, and Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit. What goddamn legend. Question 17. Okay, so Cat Game, the Cat Collector, was the actual name. So if you got this actual name, you can have a point. I am going to judge in our little break who the best fake name was, and I'll let you know which team can add a point to their score. I am so shook by what's going on in the chat right now. Are you telling me that the Aussie Spider Bait is the same Spider Bait that wrote the song Calypso and 10 Things I Hate About You? Don't mess with me here, because I am not sure I can compute that reality. It's the same! Oh my gosh, no wonder I was so confused on Google. Could only find one Wikipedia page. That's amazing. That's a beautiful realization. We can all learn something here. Question 18, less. Beyonce has less. She has 6 studio albums. Tay-Tay has 7. The answer was less or fewer, which I appreciate from Eric. Question 19, it was a cheap liquor bottle, A for the Simpsons question, and of course question 20 was Reebok's. Alien franchise did a lot for the old Reebok because Ripley is a straight up badass. Okay, Nicolas Cage, if you want to make a guess on your sheet, do so now. I have a ton of people already have made guesses over Instagram. I can confirm I have a correct answer locked in. We're going to start round 2 very soon, but not before a very small little break whilst I work out who's the winner of our cat question and sort out a few papers. We'll be back in no time at all with round 2.
But so what, it's a part of me. More slow up, ain't no halt to me. My destiny is calling me. Call it cliche. Don't care about what he say or they say or she say. They're the type I evade. They can move along instead of worrying what I do. If you feel alone, don't worry, I'm right here beside you. I know that I'm worth more than what some people tell me I'm not. Caught some stones and threw them back. That's how I got where I got. If I can make it through all of this shit without a scratch, I'ma take it as some luck that I'm never getting back. Who am I? Am I a good person? Would you still care for me in my worst version? Who am I? Am I a bad example? Do I run and hide when the bad is ample? Yeah. Who am I? Am I just dust in the wind? Going with the flow until I pass in the end? Who am I? Am I a good person? Would you still care for me in my worst version? Tell me that you love me, show me that you care. I'll be down in hell, no one will ever find me there. I'll be digging from the bottom till I make it to the surface. I know everything's okay, I'll keep on going though. I heard I'm pulling myself up, I know it's hard sometimes, but I know one day I'll be just fine. Can you feel me? Are you with me? I don't want to be alone now. Down bad, I give all I have. Here, take all I am, it's for you. Down bad,
after the tone.
Yo, Josh, like, where have you been, man? Like, you haven't been posting any new songs, you haven't uploaded any new videos, like, what's up, man? Like, where have you been, man?
I've been hanging for a minute, been perfecting my sound. I'm writing shit so fucking great, I'm about to come for the crown. I swear I'm about to crush the game like I weigh 300 pounds. And everything that's in my way has never been underground. Yeah, pop stars, that's my target. I'm not finished with the track until I know I went my hardest. I'm not finished until everybody looks around the room and shakes their head in disbelief at all the chaos that I started. So I slave away at every single track and never quit it. Got that top 40 chart up on my homepage, that's my hit list. I got Chloe Grace and every A-list female on my wish list. But she's underage though, so like, I don't know how that works. Keem was saying he's my friend, but it's the green he's after. Rather spend it all on Bill because I kill fake rappers. Now I'm spitting from the top so I can kill the chatter. Look at all your favorite MCs, they're really just actors. Yeah, I wrote this song on a plane cause I'm so Marty McFly. I hope you guys enjoyed this new EP. I've been working on it for a while, and yeah. Here we go.
I wrote the song on a plane cause I'm so Marty McFly. From Seattle to Maine, I'm writing songs till I die. I wrote the song on a plane cause I'm so Marty McFly. So motherfuck all the fame, I'm writing songs till I die. So I die, 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 so I die. So motherfuck all the fame, I'm writing songs till I die.
And I decided that all the things I did really wasn't right, and that I should think of people as human beings, not as black or white or red.
Legendary, sending all these rappers to the cemetery. Cleaning up the game, it's never been this fucking sanitary. Bitch, I'm on my come up, I'm writing till the sun up. I've been working for a minute, can I get a fucking thumb up? Yo, I blacked out and I got it. Dough all in my pockets like I won the lotto. I've been invading your playlist so you can call me Bono. Fans say my shit is amazing and I just like to wallow. But I'm surrounded by yes men, compliments feel so hollow. I got no guidance like Jaden, so I pick up the throttle. Going about 85, I love these thoughts in my mind. Like where the fuck am I going with my life? But then again, I'm thinking back to what my dad said. He told me only that your art is worth the price of death. And everything that's in my way is just another test. I'd have to want to win more than I want my next breath. I would die for this. I spend all my money on my passion, I provide for this. Everything that I work for, I'm alive for this. Yeah, nobody can take that away from me. Nobody.
I wrote the song on a plane cause I'm so Marty McFly. From Seattle to Maine, I'm writing songs till I die. I wrote the song on a plane cause I'm so Marty McFly. So motherfuck all the fame, I'm writing songs till I die. So I die, 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 so I die. So motherfuck all the fame, I'm writing songs till I die.
Alright guys, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. And here we go.
Oh, and we're back, we're back. Thanks for sharing all your scores. Looks like we've done pretty well for round one. In case you haven't already, put your round one score on the chat so we have a sense of who's doing what. I see Puzzle Club has got 20, EJ 18.5, Vin Diesel's Electric Mayhem on a whopping 26 points. We had Spanish Inquisition on 25.5, so only just behind them. Keep posting those if you haven't already. We're actually seems like we're a bit tight. We're tighter in scores for round one this week, which is awesome. I will let you know for this team to add a special point because we got some very amazing suggestions for the cat app. We got a few catastrophes, which I enjoyed. But the winning cat came from Loic Bishop, LOICBISHOP on Instagram. Loic Bishop, you can add yourself a bonus point because they said a couple of different options that were amazing. They said cat in the app, cute, and application, and Schrodinger's cat, and I liked them all. So Loic Bishop, add yourself a bonus point for the app. I did also like those that went down the crude Guess My Pussy path. That was also appreciated. Maybe you can add yourself a half point. We're going to move on to round 2 now. I know a few people have already submitted their comics, but you do have until the end of this round to do it. And because you're at home, if you want to start over, just grab a new sheet of paper and go to town. It is a $30 venue voucher on the line, so nothing to sniff at. All right, round 2, let's do it. Question 21. Which Beatles album was released earlier, Revolver or Rubber Soul? Ben from Super Nintendo Charmers, thank you for reminding me of your amazing cat app name, Apocalypse Meow. That was another one of my favorites. Question 21 goes out to the 2 teams that requested Beatles last week. It's a 50-50, so I'm going to move us on. Question 22. Knee Deep in the Dead, Hell on Earth, Infernal Sky, and Endgame are all novels written based on what video game franchise? I love this mutiny that's happening. Give Apocalypse Meow a point. Apocalypse Meow can have a half a point. I think that's fair. Apocalypse Meow, you can have a half a point. Because we're just making up rules as we go along. Anyone got question 22? Knee Deep in the Dead, Hell on Earth, Infernal Sky, Endgame, all novels based on a video game franchise. There is a couple of clues in there. Yes, a heap of people have got it. Nice work. Got a good guess. I think that you can make an educated guess based on the names of the novels. All right, let's move on. Question 23. 9-9. To which you all say 9-9. Or at least you would if you were all sitting in front of me. In Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which Backstreet Boys song does Jake ask a lineup to sing? I need the name of the song to get the point. Oh, thank you to my 9-9 echoes on the chat. What is the Backstreet Boys song that Jake makes them bust out in that lineup? Okay, I think it's time to move on. You're just guessing a Backstreet Boy song here. Nothing crazy. Question 24. Oh, okay. Thank you to everyone. Almost every team requested Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I assume it's because I forced you all to and not because you love Buffy, but you probably love Buffy as well. I hope you get question 24. Who is the first member of the Scooby Gang, as they call themselves, that Buffy meets when she arrives in Sunnydale in the pilot episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Is it A, Willow, B, Cordelia, C, Xander, or D, Giles? And before you argue with me, yes, Cordy is a part of the Scooby Gang. I absolutely have to disagree with Ben on the Netherworld chat. No one revisits first season. Everyone revisits first season because you watch it with your friends when you're introducing them. Doesn't anybody else have that tradition? Willow, Cordy, Xander, Giles. Think back to that beautiful short skirt, plaid, strange pattern time, really sexy Giles hair. Tell me who was the first person she met. Grace, I don't blame you that your mum freaked out over the hyena episode and banned you from watching it. That also happened at my house. We came back to it a few years later. I'm going to move us on. Question 25. I hope this has satiated the Buffy fans. Question 25. Let's pause the music and listen to this reverse song. I want the artist as well as the song title for the full point. It's a song that has been put in reverse. I'll play it more than once. Ooh, spicy. I'm going to play it again, don't worry. Happiness is a warm gun on the chat. Buffy fans can never be satiated. That is so very true. Here comes our reverse song again. Alright, a couple of people already got it. I might just play this one more time. I assume Thrill Ho 91 is trolling when they say Beer Bad is the best episode, because that is unequivocally the worst episode of Buffy. Okay, here comes our reverse song. Last time. Sorry, Eric, I was talking over it. That's quite right. Slap me on the wrist. I'm going to be silent and play it one more time. Okay, that was the last time. Move on to question 26. These drawings all feature in a classic novel by which famous contemporary American writer? I'll give you a bonus point if you know which book. We had a few teams request literature after last week. I normally go light on the literature questions because everyone yells at me normally when I ask a literature question. But we've obviously got some literary fans now that we've broadened our nets to the virtual community. So for those who are just joining the chat, we will avoid saying any answers in the chat, but we'll write our own answers down and we'll submit them at the very end. But I'll re-explain that when we get to the end. Anyone got 26? Yes, Soyboy69, it is an anus. It's actually a butthole that is drawn in the book. That's a great question from EEJ on the chat. You can get the bonus point without the first one. If you know the name of the book but can't remember the author, absolutely you can get that point. All right, I'm going to move us on. Question 27. Identify the Pixar characters from their silhouettes. Try for a first and last name if it's relevant. It's not going to be relevant for every single person. You do need the name of the character for the point. If you've forgotten the name of the character but you definitely know the movie, I'll give you a half point for the movie.
Swear my friends will think I'm crazy. I've been at it rolling, been feeling good lately. Better buy a damn jet ski 'cause I'm so wavy.
Alright, take a guess. Some easier than others. Witchy Pixie all over it. Jazz Paz not feeling good about this one. Guess me 3 Pixar films regardless, even if you don't know. Never leave anything blank, you might get something. Glad to know a few people are feeling pretty confident. Two and a half out of 3. That's not a bad score, Lala Luna. All right, we got love for this. Moving on to question 28. What film character is here in its pop vinyl doll form? Half point if you know the film. And before you all start asking questions on chat that will give it away to other people, I know what they are. Just write down, just cover all your bases if you're unsure. Just to be safe. Tell me the character name for the point. Tell me a film if you don't know the character name. Who's all over it? I know that one team should definitely be all over it, considering their team name. Yeah, they got it. All right, let's move on. Question 29. Identify the two films in which these items featured as important props. Now, just to be clear, the two pictures I've used aren't necessarily stills from the films themselves, but they are exact replicas, I suppose, of what's used. And to be clear even more, for B, that is a portrait we are looking at. You can't see the frame, but that is a portrait that hangs on the wall. A reminder, as we're 10 questions out from the end, finish up, or not finish up, but start thinking about the fact that your comics will have to be submitted in the next 15-20 minutes. Curious, just for myself, who's got B? Has anyone got B? Starmy crazy, B is definitely Fast and the Furious. You're right, you're absolutely right. Got B, nice. A few people have B, that's harder. B is harder. I'm very impressed. Call me impressed, I say to my faceless trivia audience who have Google at their disposal. No, I completely trust you. Okay, I'm going to move on. Question 30. Which of the below is not a real playing arena in Clash Royale? Is it A, Bone Pit, B, Spell Valley, C, Barbarian Basin, or D, Goblin Stadium? One of them is not a real playing arena in Clash Royale. Shout out to the team that requested Clash as a theme. Oh, I love that suggestion on the chat. Hayao Miyazaki films as a theme. I'm into it. I'll write it down. You do have a chance to request themes in the comment section when you submit your final score, so I will kindly ask everyone to submit what they want there, but I will jot it down now. All right, question 31. Let's move on. Tyra Banks famously hosts America's Next Top Model. I'd like you to name me one of the people who have hosted Australia's Next Top Model. So there's been a few of them. I just need one right to get the point. If you know them all, then I am wildly impressed, but you still only get 1 point. Just need one. One name will do it. And I'm going to move us on. Question 32. It's a this or that. Is Terry Butler an Australian politician or a character from Home and Away? What do we think? 50-50, not bad odds. All right, 50-50, make a choice. Moving on to question 33. Animated Disney character Nick Wildes is what kind of animal? For our Disney fans, I threw a bone to the Pixar fans before. This one's for the Disney. What kind of animal is Nick Wildes, an animated Disney character? A Poco Trout is asking why I asked about Home and Away and not Neighbours. And you know why it is? It's because I have a bias towards Neighbours myself, and I tend to ask about Neighbours when I ask about the two soaps. And so I decided to change it up. I'm just changing things up. It's been a long 3 weeks in isolation. Oh, Culture Vultures have got it. Very nice. I'm going to move us on to question 34. Aliens have also got it. Vin Diesel's Electric Mayhem have got it. Very nicely done. Make sure you have a guess if you don't know, because we're just doing this for fun. Question 34. Which comedy TV show features a fictional game called Cones of Dunshire? Chomp this. Unpopular opinion, hates Disney, but you know what? I back it, and I support you, and I love you. How do you feel about Don Bluth? Chomp this. Happiness is a warm gun. I like that you have a read on me already. I think it might be too hard if I ask this question the other way around. I think trivia was a bit hard last week. I'm trying to be gentle. Very nice. Vin Diesel's Electric Mayhem. I'm feeling pretty confident about this one. Who else is all over it? Oh, I have to say, the artistry coming in from our Easter comics is particularly exceptional. There's still time to submit though. Alright. Strider Brothers, I'm sorry if you mean that you only have 1 point in the whole round. But if you request me a theme, I'll write you something special next week. I'm going to move us on to question 35. This is it, the question you've all been waiting for. The much requested question last week when I did a John Williams mash up. Everyone was like, we don't want John, we want Hans. So you better goddamn show up for Hans and know the answer to this. This is worth 4 points. I want you to write down the 4 films based on their Hans Zimmer scores. Turn that volume up, baby. Not James Horner, no, even though James Horner is my dad's favorite composer. True story. Here we go. I'm excited. I hope you are. Ain't that just something? Ain't it just something? All right, let's play it again. That wasn't enough time. You got to get 4 films out of this. thank you to Steve in the chat who reminded me just now of when we bumped into each other at the Hans Zimmer concert. Who else was there? Was anybody else in the chat at the Hans Zimmer concert last year? Don't worry, I am going to play it one more time if we need. Here it comes again for the last time. Maybe. We'll see. Honestly, I could die happy listening to that. Sorry, Lewis VD, who says 0 out of 4. I would just say guess 4 films that you think might have been scored by Hans Zimmer, who's done a few big ones. Thank you, Scott, for your input. Pirates of the Caribbean is still the best score of the 2000s. Fight me. We all will later. I am willing to play this one more time. If you need this one more time, tell me now. Otherwise, we're going to move on. I need 2 people to want it more than... Do it. Yes. Thank you for that confirmation, Steve. All right. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. You're telling me to do it. Here it comes. Last time. Okay, thank you, Hans. Round of applause for Hans, everybody. Very nicely done, Hans. I'll do the clap because you guys can hear my clap. Thanks for the request too. That was a joy to put together. Let's kick on some slightly less desirable copyright-free Twitch music. But you know what? I appreciate this Spotify playlist, so I ain't hating. Next week, Danny Elfman from Ben Netherworld. All right, well, you're going to have to request your themes on the comments, and I'll decide what composer is next. Let's move on. Question 36. Oh, no, went too far. Question 36. Now, don't shoot me. This was a requested theme, and I respect the hell out of it. Someone wanted classic My Little Pony, and quite frankly, I am here for this. This classic My Little Pony goes by what name? Is it A, Parasol, B, Sky Dancer, C, Rainbow Dash, or D, Fluttershy? Tell me, what is the name of this classic My Little Pony? Yes, so good to see the love for the My Little Pony universe on the chat. Ponies are stupid. No, they're not, Minton Pants. Looks like Amy Poehler. I love that. Alright, it's a 1 in 4. Make a guess. Go with your gut. Gonna move on to question 37. This is Redbubble merch. We're all familiar with Redbubble. We've all spent late night hours looking at Redbubble. This is some merch on Redbubble, hard to say, for which TV show? Is it A, The IT Crowd, B, Red Dwarf, C, Gavin and Stacey, or D, Peep Show? The IT Crowd, Red Dwarf, Gavin and Stacey, Peep Show. A gentle reminder to keep all speculation out of the chat. We don't want any guesses in the chat. because people don't want to spoil their chance of guessing it. That wouldn't be fun. And we're here for such a short time. So the merch, if you can't see, says, "Give Quiche a chance," written on a shirt. I'll move us on to question 38 now. True or false, a CGI Stan Lee, rest in peace, will cameo in the upcoming Marvel film Black Widow? (50-50), true or false? No, Black Widow is not out yet. That's very true, Ravishna. But there's still plenty of reporting on it. True or false? 50-50. Oh, great. I am getting some very spicy comics in. I won't spend too much longer on this. It's a 50-50. Here we go. Question 39. Barnsey or Farnsey? An old favourite question format. Barnsey or Farnsey? Did Jimmy Barnes or John Farnham sing the below lyric? Never seems to make it better if we can't get on together. Take a chance and try a brand new start. Was that a Jimmy Barnes or a John Farnham lyric? I am particularly personally triggered by the Paul Walker chat. He was my absolute first love, and I did weep like a child when he passed away. So rest in peace, Paul. We love you. Can't wait for Fast and the Furious 9. Absolutely fight me if you don't like Fast and the Furious. Question 39. Barnsey or Farnsey? Give it a crack. Have a guess. I'm about to kick us into our last question of the night. Ending it the same way, a little bit differently, but broadly the same as last week, with our extreme close-up feature. This one is a tattoo edition. I want you to tell me the TV character based on this tattoo. I will give you a full point for the name of the character and a half point if you can guess the show. I know it's a little bit pixelated and hard to see. That's the point. It is supposed to be hard to see. Tell me the character based on the tattoo. That's your last question for the night. There is, of course, one more Nicolas Cage clue coming up. If you haven't already guessed it, I'll give you a little bit. I'll give you another breadcrumb to have a crack, because if you get Nicolas Cage right at the end of round 2, you get 3 points to add to your final score. In the meantime, send me those comic entries. I'm gonna start needing them right about now. We still, of course, have to mark our answers. That's only a few moments away. I have to say, the Easter theme has got the goods out of you. All right, who's feeling good about question 40? Tell me you are without telling me what the answer is. Strider on chat wants a Scott Morrison from Parliament question time. That might be stretching the pop culture rules we have here, but I have been known to stretch them before. All right, Guinness Guy has it. Very nice. Mince and Pants is in New Zealand. Very nice to have international players. I know Scott in Canada is playing. And likewise, no one's going on Easter holidays here either. We're just drawing about it for our comic competition. All right, I'm going to move us on to our final Nicolas Cage clue. Again, to reiterate, if you guess this right, You will get 3 points for this question. I have already got a winning answer from somebody over Instagram, so don't try and Instagram me the answer if you get it now. I mean, you can if you want to, but the prize has been given out. Here is our final clue. I'm after a filmmaker. This is the second clue. Deeblem says Paul Walker and Invader Zim for PM. Couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. All right, as you are looking at this Nicolas Cage clue, please gather yourself, gather your team, make sure you've made a guess for all the questions for round 2 because I'm about to do answers. Again, we do mark our own sheets at Netherworld Twitch Trivia. So ready yourself, scribes, here they come. Question 21, it was Rubber Soul. Rubber Soul came out in 1965. Revolver came out in 1966. Rubber Soul will get you the point. Question 22, it's Doom. The Doom franchise, that's what all these novelizations were from, the Doom franchise. Well done if you got it. Question 23, I want it that way. Tell me why. You're so welcome. Question 24. Xander knocks into her and her bag content spills out and he finds a steak. It was C or Xander. And despite what Ben said on the Netherworld Arcade chat, Season 1 is worth revisiting and I'd recommend you do it this week. Question 25. It's Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name. You get half a point for Rage Against the Machine, half a point for Killing in the Name. Well done if you got it. Question 26. Kurt Vonnegut, Breakfast of Champions. Nicely done if you got that right. That's 1 point for Kurt Vonnegut for getting the writer. That's the main question. And the bonus point was Breakfast of Champions. Somebody in the chat earlier said that they got the bonus but not the actual question. That's fine. You still get a point for the bonus. Happy days. Take that point. Question 27. We had Bullseye from Toy Story, we had Mater from Cars, and we had Edna E. Mode from The Incredibles. As always with this stuff, a point for the character name, a half a point if you only got the film title. Question 28. It's the Nazgul. Now, I was going to be generous here. I will give you a point for Nazgul, and I will give you a point if you said which King of Angmar. This particular pop vinyl isn't 100% specific that it is the Witch King of Angmar, but you won't be marked wrong if you wrote down that. But Nazgul will get you the point. If you just said Lord of the Rings, you get a half point. I didn't need Fellowship, Two Towers, Return, because the Nazgul are in all of them. My vibe is, though, that it's the Witch King in Fellowship, but you still get points for what I've got on the screen. Question 29. A was, of course, the box of chocolates from Forrest Gump. B, well done if you got B. It was the Grand Budapest Hotel, Boy Holding Apple, the portrait that Ralph Fiennes' character is obsessed with. Really good job if you got Grand Budapest. 2 points there. In the chat, if you said Ringwraith, I'll give Ringwraith a point too. So I'm going to give Nazgul, Witch King of Angmar, or Ringwraith a point for question 28. Yeah, so Grognak, Ringwraith is absolutely fine. Question 30. Oh, I love this. Jewel Kareem, it's actually Boy with Apple, not Boy Holding Apple. That's the kind of specificity I strive for in my life, so thank you for correcting me. Boy with Apple from Grand Budapest Hotel. That is for the point. Question 30. It's Barbarian Basin. There is actually a playing arena called Barbarian Bowl, but Basin was some BS that I made up, so C is the answer to 30. 31. If you said one of any of these names, you can have a point. So we had Jennifer Hawkins, Sarah Murdoch, Jodie Mears, and Erica Hainitz, I want to say. Any of those gets you the point. I did not need the 4, I just needed one of them. Question 32. Australian politician Terry Butler is actually a local MP, not a Home and Away character. I promise to ask about Neighbours again next time. Question 33. It's a fox. Nick Wilde is from Zootopia or Zootropolis, depending on where you grew up in the world, because it was released under different names. But a fox will get you the point. Oh, Deep Lamb, Labour Party extra points for Terry Butler. She is in the Labour Party, you're quite right. I won't give it extra points, but well done for being politically engaged. We need more of your sort in the world. Question 34. Parks and Recreation. Cones of Dunshire is in Parks and Recreation. Question 35. Question 35, our Hans Zimmer question. Number 1, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman, I think I put the wrong vowel in there. Number 2, The Thin Red Line. Number 3, Interstellar. Number 4, The Lion King. It is Wonder Woman, not Wonder Women, although we're all wonderful, aren't we? 4 points. 4 points if you got all 4 of those. Very nicely done. Yes, it is Wonder Woman. I know I added in the we. I'll just say it's because I wanted us to all feel inclusively powerful. Wonder Woman, The Thin Red Line, Interstellar, The Lion King, 4 points. Question 36. It's Sky Dancer. If you didn't know it, I hope you guessed it. Those birds on that butt. It's a sky dancing pony. Or bee. Question 37. Red Dwarf. Thank you to the team that requested Red Dwarf. I do like that show. It was fun to write this question. EJ, but it has a rainbow mane. I know it was a little bit of a cruel misdirect with the pony question, but they all have rainbow manes. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them do. It's true. That's what I like to call me being sneaky. You have to watch out for it sometimes. Question 38. It's false. They have not announced a CGI Stan Lee doing a cameo in Black Widow. That's not a thing that we know is happening yet, so that is false. Question 39. It's Jimmy Barnes. Lay down your guns. I didn't actually need the name of the song. Well done if you got it, but you just got a point if you said Jimmy Barnes. It was Barnesy, not Farnsey. And our question 40, a TV character based on the tattoo. It is Jax Teller from Sons of Anarchy. You get a full point for Jax. If you knew it was the Sons of Anarchy sign but didn't know it was Jax, you can have a half point for Sons. And now is the time, whilst you're calculating all of those answers, I will be announcing who the first person to get me the Nicolas Cage answer was. I'll just get it up on screen. Okay, here is the answer to our Nicolas Cage question. Of course, the person I announce will have won themselves a Netherworld pin, but don't forget that if you got it right, you still get 5 points if you guessed it after round 1 and 3 points if you guessed it after round 2. Here it comes. We had Happy Feet, we had Babe, we had Mad Max. I am, of course, talking about George Miller. The answer was George Miller. For those who might have missed the person who won for the cat game, the cat game winner was it was Loic Bishop. Loic Bishop was the name of the cat winner, and I decided to give Apocalypse Meow also a bonus point. So I know a couple of people missed when I said who won the Cap App bonus point. It was Apocalypse Meow who got the bonus point, as well as Loic Bishop, who submitted a few excellent answers. Now, I will say, I'll announce the person who got the Netherworld Cage question to me first as an individual. On Instagram, well done to Paul_Daniels. Paul, you were the first one in with George Miller. Very swift work. Paul has won himself an exclusive Netherworld winner's pin, which you can only normally win if you win Netherworld Trivia. So I'm going to message Paul and I'll make an arrangement to get the pin to him. Okay, so let's turn up the music for a hot second. Whilst you're calculating your scores, the time has come for you now to do the maths and then submit the final scores to the Man vs. Bear stream page. There is a link to that in the panels below the video. You can submit them in the chat, but for them to be included in the official ranking, which I'm going to post on Facebook in about 40 minutes, you do need to go onto the Man vs Bear website and go to the stream tab and submit your team name and your final score. And if there's anything that you want me to write questions for you for next week, write it in the comments section of the stream registry. Again, you don't have to submit your scores if you don't want it to be publicly posted on Facebook, but if you do, I will tabulate that in the next hour. It does take a little bit of time to come through, so it'll be in the next hour that I post the ranking. Whilst you're doing that, I am going to go through all of my comics. If you haven't sent me your comic, send it now, because the judging is happening now. So we are sending off our final scores to the Man vs Bear website. It's on the stream tab. There is a link in the panels below. I am now just quickly judging our Netherworld comics. If you haven't already got it to me, the time has come to Instagram at Arika Blockade. You can just message me or you can tag me in a story. It's just an easy way for me to see all of them beside each other. It's going to be a particularly hard night to judge. Luckily, Benjamin is here to help me. A ton of people are putting their final scores in the chat and sending them to me on Instagram. That's totally fine and I love to see it, but just to reiterate, if you want your final scores to be published in a table next to all the other team names and posted on our Facebook, then you do need to submit them in the Man vs Bear website form thingy. It's all very simple. There's a link to it in the panels below, but that's only if you want to be included in the final tally ranking table, which is absolutely not everyone's motivation, and I understand that. Okay, I am whittling these comics down to only a few. We have ourselves the runners-up. I'm getting in Benjamin to help me. I'll mute the mic so you can't hear us judge. thank you for your patience whilst we judge the comic competition. I have selected our finalists. Ben has come in to weigh in, and we have ourselves a winner. Just to reiterate, the prize for winning this is a $30 venue voucher, which we will email to you and you can use in store when we reopen. Our winning comic, and I know it's hard that you guys can't see these all immediately, but I am going to post some of the best comics up on our Facebook page, and I will include a bunch of the comics in the Netherworld notice board next week. But our winning comic this evening came from D. Blem, so DBLEMM, who did this amazing Eggs Manning comic, both Easter related and Rex Manning related, because it is Rex Manning Day. Brilliant job. We loved it. Definitely the most timely. I have to say, we got a few absolutely terrifying comics that were gorgeously drawn, and I will include them in our notice board next week so you can see them. But D. Blem, great job. You have won yourself a $30 venue voucher, and everybody can see the winning comics up on the notice board next week, and I'll also share a few on the Facebook page when I post the rankings in the next hour. So just before I log off and say love you to you all, a reminder that you do not have to register for this trivia, but if you would like to request themes for next week, when you submit your final scores, there is a comment section. Just type it in the comment section. If you forget to do that and you've already sent it, just send me an Instagram message or send us a regular registration on the Man vs. Bear page, and I'll get it as an email and I'll see your themes. But that's it. That's us for the night. We are done. You're all a bloody joy. It's been a delight to have your souls virtually fill this Netherworld space, which has been empty for a while. We'll be back. Oh, okay. Ben's just told me something off screen, that if you are keen for some more Netherworld Twitch love, Goodman Jimmy will be doing 24-hour pinball streaming on this very Twitch channel over the weekend. So that's your whole weekend sorted, really. Don't complain to me about isolation boredom. Jimmy will be playing pinball all weekend, and it's very meditative to watch on Twitch, actually. And that's it. Stay safe. We'll see you next Wednesday.